Spatial audio technologies are improving by the day, with companies like Dolby's Atmos, Sony's 360 Reality Audio, Apple's Spatial Audio, all working on their own versions of this. Before spatial audio became a thing, surround sound was big to mimic the soundstage effects within an audio experience. Traditionally, these effects could be achieved by recording the content with different mic sources placed within the intended soundstage spread and playing it through compatible surround sound system speakers arranged in different angles across the listening space. While these technologies might seem gimmicky to some, these are continuously improving and are definitely worth having for enhanced listening experience. First of all, you should consider the listening experience that you prefer. Majority of us are not clear on this very aspect and are just swayed by reviews and marketing efforts of brands. How many of us are paying attention to the frequency response of speakers in the device we purchase? I can tell that I have been just as clueless as you. Frequency is just another name for pitch, and it is important that a speaker is able to produce the wide range of frequencies that we encounter in music, movies, podcasts, and any other audio content that we consume. Frequency response accuracy tells us how much sound a speaker produces for each frequency played, and by testing the frequency response accuracy, we can classify the device's sound profile in several ways, like being bass heavy, treble heavy, warm, or neutral. Based on our preferences, we can then classify which sound profile fits our consumption requirements the most. Now let me ask you, how many of us consider ourselves bass heads without even knowing what bass literally is? This shows how much we have been influenced by what we are perceived to like than what we actually like. Let's not wander any further. I put simply, bass refers to low-frequency sound in music. These are the deep and rumbling tones that you can feel vibrating in your chest, especially in genres like hip-hop, electronic, and reggae. Bass adds richness, depth, and a sense of power to the music. Imagine the thumping of a kick drum or the deep notes of a bass guitar, and you're thinking about the bass in the song. Treble, on the other hand, refers to the high-frequency sounds in music. These are the crisp, sharp, and bright tones that make up the sparkle and clarity of the music. Treble encompasses the shimmering of cymbals, the twang of a guitar, or the clarity of a singer's voice. It adds detail and brilliance to the overall sound. Then there are the mid-range frequencies, which are neither too low nor too high and are considered the heart of the audio spectrum in which the music lies in. Typically spanning from around 300 Hz to 5000 Hz, they contribute to the overall timbre, warmth, and presence of the sound, creating a balanced and immersive listening experience. Things to look for when purchasing earphones. While the usual drill of checking the price, sound quality, comfort and fit, or any other reviews online is important, we have to consider other features that have become essential for our everyday use, especially with so many choices to pick from. We can begin by considering the driver size. It is the size of the speaker inside the earphone. Larger drivers typically produce better sound quality, but they can also be more bulky. Secondly, we have to look for a smooth and well-defined frequency response. High frequency response that extends to at least 15 kHz or higher is better. Natural and balanced mid-range should be there, so pay attention to frequencies between 500 Hz to 2 kHz. For the low frequencies, we have to look for a balanced bass response that complements the mids and the highs, with low frequency response down to at least 20 Hz for satisfying bass reproduction. Thirdly, we have to also look at the battery life, and if you plan on buying wireless earphones that you want to wear for long periods of time, it should at least have 7 to 8 hours on a single charge. And if you all plan on using your earphones for workouts or in wet or humid conditions, do make sure it has an IP rating to support such environments. With active noise cancellation becoming increasingly common these days, it is a good feature to have for uninterrupted listening experience. However, do not confuse just noise isolation or passive noise cancelling with ANC, as only the latter is true noise cancellation and others are just marketing terms to confuse your understanding of noise cancellation. And these are just exaggerated representation of features which may seem convincing to an uninformed buyer. Your earphones should also support multi-point connectivity, which essentially means that they can pair with more than one device at the same time. Then, like we discussed earlier in the video, it should support high-res audio formats, it should have spatial audio support, and also ensure that it supports customizable EQ. While we primarily focus on buying the right earphones and speakers, it is essential that our phones also have the right support to utilize all the features across the devices it connects with. Therefore, when buying a phone, see to it that it supports all the major codecs, including high-res ones. Even your phones should have spatial audio support. They should have good dual stereo speakers, Bluetooth 5.2 or later, for better wireless audio support. And if you wish to further enhance the wired listening experience and for better DAC support, you can always buy a separate adapter with high-res DAC chip for a lossless listening experience. Things to keep in mind when purchasing speakers and soundbars. Consider the speaker configuration that suits your space and preferences. Also keep in mind to position the speakers based on your room's acoustics. Look for speakers or soundbars with clear and balanced sound reproduction, accurate frequency response, and a good dynamic range. Ensure that the speakers have necessary connectivity options to work with your devices. Look for features like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and wired connections like HDMI, optical, and RCA inputs. Check the power output of the speakers. Higher wattages generally indicate more powerful and louder performance. Consider the size of your room and the intended use to determine the appropriate power output needed. Check for virtual surround sound, Dolby Atmos support, voice control support, virtual assistant support, and multi-room audio connectivity. To keep in mind the frequency range that needs to be considered, look for a speaker with high frequency response that extends to at least 20 kHz. Look for a speaker that can handle mid-frequencies between 500 to 2 kHz effectively. For full-range speakers, a frequency response that reaches down to at least 40 Hz is desirable for decent bass output. For speakers without built-in subwoofers, consider pairing them with a separate subwoofer for extended low-frequency response. As an added note, also check the frequency response curve of the speaker in the product specifications. A flagged frequency response curve indicates that the speaker reproduces all frequencies equally, resulting in an accurate sound representation. A slight bump in certain frequency ranges can add character to the sound, but too much variation may lead to unnatural sound.
If you have enjoyed the video so far and found it helpful, it would be great support if you could like and share it. And while you are at it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such content. Now let's move ahead with the last part of this video series, where we understand the features to look for in a music subscription service, so we can make the most of our capable hardware. Considering that we have all the right hardware, let us understand how we can pick the right music streaming service to support it. Before subscribing to any music platform, it is essential to consider its compatibility with your listening appetite. Beyond just price and offline listening, we need to also compare some of the points we discuss ahead.
Make sure you check for these essential features before subscribing. You can test it either by checking reviews or by trying the service's free period. Wide song selection to ensure our favorites are available, different languages, labels, genres, etc. Audio codecs. Consider the audio compression formats used by the app so we can understand the audio quality to expect. High-res audio availability. Spatial audio support. Reliability in terms of auto playlist generation and recommendations. Cross-platform compatibility to ensure seamless experience across devices and platforms. We have put together a list of subscription services available globally which you can pause and compare. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube Music, JioSaavn, Ghana, Airtel Wing, Angami, Resso, Bye Bye Dance, Tencent Music, apps like Kugo, QQ, Kua.
While this video was not meant to please the audio engineers out there or to make you into one, it surely will help the casual audiophiles in understanding the basics for our day-to-day listening experience. Feel free to drop your views and suggestions in the comments. We will catch you on the next one. Till then, happy listening.